Let them speak. Test review 26. 1. I ask the question. 2. You repeat the question. 3. You answer the question. Answer a positive question with a positive sentence. Answer a negative question with a negative sentence. Use the same tense. If he came, would you go? If he came, would you go? If he came, I would go. Couldn't she have gone if she had money? Couldn't she have gone if she had money? She couldn't have gone if she had money. Please repeat and answer. If she came, would you talk to her? If she went, could you drive her? If they borrowed money, shouldn't they repay it? Wouldn't you take her if she had to be there by 5? If they managed to get the money, could they buy it? Shouldn't he have told her if it was necessary? Wouldn't he have gone if you had been there? Would you have been disappointed if he hadn't done that? If she had had more money, would she have tried to buy it? Would you have told her if it had tasted bad? Would you look forward to going there if you knew she was there? Wouldn't he be angry if they couldn't come to the party? Wouldn't she make him stay home if she knew that? Couldn't they play together if she let her daughter come early? If they had met her, would they have found out? If he had told you not to go, would you have stayed there? If she had felt better, would she have gone swimming? If he had decided to take her there, would you have been jealous? Couldn't he have passed the test if he had studied a lot harder? Would he have ended up working there if they had offered him the job? Couldn't they help him do it if he just asked? If you could sing like her, would they have been impressed? Shouldn't you have given it to her if she needed it? If they were interested in seeing that movie, would you go to see it with them? Wouldn't it be too heavy to carry if they put that in it? Couldn't she have contacted him if you had asked her to get in touch with him? Wouldn't she have had the chance to see it if she had gotten there earlier? If she tried to hide it from you, would you be able to find it? Couldn't she have flown there if he had asked her to come there? Shouldn't they try to meet her if she wanted to talk? Would he have taken care of the kids if you had had to go to the doctor? If she kept doing that, would you have gotten angry? Could they have solved it if you had helped them to do it? If she had stopped smoking, would she have felt better? Couldn't she have used that if you had given it to her? Would they be thinner if they hadn't eaten so many sweets? Would you have had a hard time learning it if you hadn't read that book? Shouldn't they have invited her if they knew she felt lonely? Would you have enjoyed being with her if she had been more friendly? If you knew how to play the guitar well, would they have been impressed? If her clothes were dirty, would you have told her to change her clothes? If she had fallen in love with you, would you have married her? Could they have won if he had been playing with them? If he had wanted to get it, should you have bought it for his birthday? Wouldn't he have been thrilled if you had gotten that for him? If you had lost your phone, would you have had enough money to buy another one? Should they have tried to help him if they had seen him struggling? If they had gotten up early, could they have made breakfast for you? Wouldn't she admit it if you told her she was wrong? Would he have been glad to see her if she had dropped by? If you made more money, would you really be a lot happier? If he was wrong, would you tell him he was wrong? If it was the same, would you buy two of them? If some of them were thinking of quitting, what would you say to them? If they had appeared confused, would you have asked them how you could help them? Shouldn't she have forgiven him if he had said he was sorry? If they had been lying to you, Would you have told their parents? Could she have taken him if her car had been working? If he said he wouldn't do it, would you tell him to leave? Would it be worth going there if there was more to see? Wouldn't you have taken them food if you knew she was sick? If he asked you where you lived, would you tell him? Wouldn't he have been excited if you had asked him to go to the dance with you? If she says she isn't going to go, should you make her go? If they had continued to complain, would you have just left? If you had run out of food, would you have gone to the grocery store? If they had made you angry, would you have told them to get out? Could you have gone to that college if you had done better in school? Should they have apologized if they had known that? If she tells you that it's all right to go there, should you believe her? If they were ready to leave, would you go to pick them up? Wouldn't she have kept watching TV if her mom hadn't told her to come to dinner? Could they have paid that if he had had a better job? Would you have looked for it if you knew she had left it at school? Would it look bad if I were to leave now? Should they sell it if he'd like to buy it? Should they have read that if they knew it was going to be on the test? Would you have been there if you were sure you could have been helpful? Could you fit into her clothes if your clothes were all dirty? If some of them felt nervous, would you have told them not to worry about it? Would they have moved there if they had the money? If you had long hair like that, would you look good? If he happened to find out about it, wouldn't you feel terrible? Shouldn't they get there early if they want to get a good seat on the train? If she came to look at it, would show it If she came to look at it, would you show it to her right away? Would it be worthwhile talking to her if you were sure she knew how to do it? Couldn't he have cut their grass if their lawnmower had been broken? If she had felt like going out for a drink, would you have gone out with her? If she said he was supposed to pay you, would you call him? Wouldn't you have had them come over if you knew their mom didn't feel good? Could she have taken a bus there if she had had more time? If you saw him sleeping, would you wake him up? If you had heard her complaining, could you have explained it to her? If you had heard her complaining, could you have explained it to her? Shouldn't they have gotten him to do it if you weren't able to do it? Should they bring some wine if they ask them to come for dinner? Would she have been satisfied if they had paid her a little more? If it had been dangerous, would you have gone there? Wouldn't it have been wonderful if he could get that job? Would any of them want to have my old clothes if I offered it to them? Who would you have invited if you had had more money? What would you have done if you had known that? What should she have said to him if she had seen him do that? How much money would you have given him if you knew he was struggling? How often would you go there if they needed you? Where would you have gone to eat if he said he would pay? Who could have met her if she had come on the earlier flight? What would you have sold if you had needed to have more money? What kind of flowers would you have given her if you went out on a date with her? When could you get here if she let you come? Who should have stayed there if she had been sick? What would you have made for her if you knew she was going to be coming? Where could he take you if you happened to be older? Who would have complained if they had seen you do that? Where would you go swimming if it was hotter? What restaurant would you have gone to if you really felt hungry? When could she have met you if you got off of work earlier? Who would have given it to you if they had been here? Where should they have taken you? Who could have taught it? When would they have contacted her? What would you do if I decided not to go? Who would have told her that if you couldn't have been there? Who could have danced like that if they had practiced more? What would you have done if she had told you to get out? Thank you.